On Thursday, September 5th, 2024, famed rock band Linkin Park revealed that they would be reuniting with a new lead vocalist, Emily Armstrong, best known from the band Dead Sarah. The band have also been quick to welcome a new drummer, Colin Brittain, replacing Rob Bourdon, who has vowed to step away from the project. Bourdon was a founding member of Linkin Park, joining the band in 1996 at their inception and remained with them till 2017. In a new interview with Billboard magazine, vocalist and multi-instrumentalist Mike Shinoda explained why Bourdon was no longer a part of the band, saying that the drummer had grown increasingly distant starting in 2017 after Chester Bennington's unfortunate passing. Rob had said to us at a point, I guess it was a few years ago now, that he wanted to put some distance between himself and the band. And we understood that, and it was already apparent. He was starting to just show up less, be in less contact. I knew the fans noticed it too. The Hybrid Theory re-release in 2020 and Paper Cuts release this April, he didn't show up for anything. So for me, as a friend, that was sad, but at the same time, I want him to do whatever makes him happy, and obviously, everybody wishes him the best. The band's comeback performance this Thursday also noticed that there was another member missing from the group. Founding member and guitarist Brad Delson has vowed to take a leave of absence from the touring aspect of the band. In an official statement he released on Friday, he said, I'm beyond excited to share this new chapter with the world. Bringing our vision to life is the culmination of many twists and turns as we continue our unique journey together as a band. We couldn't do it without a belief in what is possible, even when things seem impossible, without the ability to listen, particularly when emotions run deep, and without the support and love of everyone around us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. In awe of Emily and Colin for their talent, passion, and partnership. Deep gratitude to all my bandmates for their humility, hard work, and friendship. I've always felt deeply connected to and proud of our live performances. Over the years, I've realized I thrive most when I'm actively working with my bandmates behind the scenes, in the studio, collaborating on our new music, and help building our live show. I am so proud of everything we continue to create together. While I will not be performing on tour in this new chapter, I am super excited to introduce Alex, my handsome deputy on the road. Alex is a world-class musician, a kind and thoughtful friend, and we are truly fortunate he'll be contributing his unique talent to our Linkin Park universe. Fresh eyes, honest appreciation, and devoted teamwork have brought us to this special moment. The privilege of sharing our creativity with you. Thank you for joining us on the journey. While the band's comeback campaign included new music, a song called The Emptiness Machine, a new album announcement called From Zero, out November 15th, and a now sold-out world tour of 6 shows across 4 continents, it was also plagued with some controversy. Fans were quick to point out Emily Armstrong's involvement with the Church of Scientology and her support of fellow Scientologist, convicted rapist Danny Masterson, who is best known for his role on the sitcom That 70s Show. Cedric Bixler-Zavala, best known for his role as the frontman of the Mars Volta and At the Drive-In, and his wife, Chrissy Carnell Bixler, have called attention to Armstrong's connections to the Church of Scientology. Carnell Bixler was one of the women who accused Danny Masterson of rape. He was found guilty last year, though not on her charge. Chrissy and her husband Bixler-Zavala also say Masterson and the church stalked, intimidated, and harassed them after making these allegations. Armstrong, as Carnell Bixler had pointed out, was among those who showed up at court with Masterson in 2020 for his arraignment. Chrissy took to her Instagram story the other day to say, Linkin Park's new singer is a hardcore Scientologist who supported convicted serial rapists both in and out of court. Emily Armstrong is a true believer of the Scientology cult and criminal organization that engages in human and child trafficking, child and elder abuse, and the cover-ups of countless sexual assaults on children and adults. Also is a true believer of L. Ron Hubbard, who said all homosexuals are sexual deviants on the same level as pedophiles. You can read all about Scientologists' views on LGBT community in Science of Survival or Dianetics. A comment that Cedric left on Dead Sarah's Instagram account, Emily Armstrong's other band, last year has also resurfaced, which read, I'm surprised none of you wrote a letter on Denny Masterson's behalf since your corny-ass singer showed up to support him in the preliminaries. Remember, Emily? Remember how your fellow Scientologist goon squad surrounded one of the Jane Does when she was trying to leave the elevators? The court sheriffs had to escort her away from your awful cult. Remember when we did the purification rundown, Emily? Were you directed to safe point me because of what my wife knew? Why can't you shut your mouth during a detox program where people are going through some rough shit but your corny ass is singing like an unsupervised child? Is it because you're a born Scientologist that gets a pass? How do you reconcile with the homophobia found in the teachings of L. Ron Hubbard's book Dianetics? Do your fans know about your friend Danny Masterson, your rapist friend? In another Instagram story, Chrissy Bixler mentioned the late Chester Bennington and wrote, "My husband toured with Soundgarden many times. I'll never forget Chris Cornell telling a packed stadium that the Mars Volta was his favorite band." Chester Bennington and Linkin Park would always play At the Drive-In songs before going out on stage. Chester was a child SA survivor. Chester and Chris had a beautiful bond and I'm told a shared common goal to fight human and child trafficking. Scientology is a human and child trafficking organization protected by a 501c3 granted under the Clinton administration. Linkin Park just replaced Chester with a hardcore second-generation Scientologist. Rest in peace. On Friday, September 6th, Emily Armstrong responded to all the comments being thrown her way regarding Scientology and her association with Danny Masterson. She said in an Instagram story, "Hi, I'm Emily. I'm new to so many of you, and I wanted to clear the air about something that happened a while back. Several years ago, I was asked to support someone I considered a friend at a court appearance, and went to one early hearing as an observer. Soon after, I realized I shouldn't have. I always tried to see the good in people, and I misjudged him. I have never spoken with him since. Unimaginable details emerged, and he was later found guilty. I say it as clearly as possible. I do not condone abuse or violence against women, and I empathize with the victims of these crimes." As you can imagine, this statement was polarizing and was met with mixed responses. Chrissy Bixler and her husband, Cedric Bixler Zavala, of the Mars Volta and At the Drive-In, were not satisfied with this response. Chrissy left a note on her Instagram story saying, "Dear Emily, if you're not going to speak out against the human and child trafficking cult in which you are a part of and in which you enable by remaining silent on the crimes you know about, then you have no right to fill the shoes of Chester Bennington, a true advocate. I don't give a fuck that you are very close to the serial rapist. I don't give a fuck that you lied in your apology Instagram story. I do care that you participated, after being asked, in the cruel intimidation of Jane Doe 1 with your cult pals at court. I do care that you didn't once mention that you are a member of a child and human trafficking cult that covers up the abuses and rapes of children and adults. I do care that your parents work for OSA, the Office of Special Affairs, of the cult of Scientology, which have been ordering attacks on me and my family, which includes murdering my dogs in the most inhumane and evil ways. I do care that they have been attacking and harassing my fellow sister survivors. You don't speak out against Scientology not because you're terrified of them. You don't speak out because you are one of them. Shame on Linkin Park. Fuck you." Cedric Bixler Zavala later co-signed his wife, Chrissy's, statement by posting it on his own Instagram. To further amplify his support, he made a statement of his own. "Emily, did you know that your friend Chris Wadhams and Danny would drive by one of the Jane Does very slowly after a fucked up day of cross-examinations and follow her in their car, staring at her, trying to intimidate her? I do. Did you know that Alana Masterson would hide in the bathrooms after one of the Jane Does had a massive panic attack on the stand and proceeded to harass her in the bathroom, calling her a liar? What, you didn't hear about that? Did your parents shield you from that? Your OSA parents, or were you cool with that? Doesn't your church call that fair game policy? Weren't you just hanging out with the nasal queef herself, Bijou Phillips, just a couple of days ago? Oh wait, she's okay now because she divorced Danny? She sure had a grand old time reading my wife's police report in a mocking post. Remember how she screamed when they took Danny away? I bathe in that moment every single fucking day. Careful, homegirl. That Phillips curse is contagious. Just read Mackenzie Phillips' book. You should also read up on that fucking dingbat Bijou's past behavior. That is, of course, if the church allows you to read about her. They do have a policy about reading anything critical of the church and its members. Your church also has a bad snitching culture where you write knowledge reports on fellow members who are not following the teachings of L. Ron Hubbard, just like the East German Stasi imposed on its citizen. That's your church? Today is 1 year anniversary of having put that shitbag you thought was a good guy in jail. You can't even say sorry to the Jane Does properly, huh? Your apology is worded as if you hired some PR crisis team to help you. As for you, Linkin Park, you should fire your entire team for not thoroughly vetting your choice. You're a Disney-level brand trying to make a comeback and you didn't even think to spend a little money on looking into her? Stop playing at the Drive-In's music on your pre-show playlist. While it is worth noting that the Mars Volta frontman is a former Scientologist, he has never been one to shy away from talking about his past. In the comments, someone said, "With all due respect, Cedric, why did you ever become a Scientologist in the first place?" To which he responded, "For the same reason people seek God. For the same reason an addict wants to quit drugs. For the reason of better understanding who I was at the time." It is a very long, complicated answer that would take a book's worth of reading to really understand. Perhaps one of the most valuable and important voices in this entire situation is that of Jaime Bennington, the son of late Linkin Park singer Chester Bennington.
Yeah, is anybody else watching this live stream fucking live? Not only do I feel fucking embarrassed right now for myself being related to this shit, but how fucking disrespectful is this performance to my fucking family, my father? I am fucking livid right now. I gotta go back and watch more. This is fucking insane. In case we were all unclear, there was no statement about Chester. There was no acknowledgement of Chester except for that one acknowledgement wherein Mike Shinoda contracted the audience, much like I do, into a parasocial relationship where they stood in for my dead father. He got to look them in the eyes, sing the songs to Chester. And it was to all you fans. Damn, what a fucking backhand, am I right? I am so mad right now. That was so disgraceful. Such bad taste, bro. Like, holy fuck.
I'm sure there's no meaning to the songs that they chose either.
Oh, there's nothing. And if somebody said something, then it probably means nothing, because nothing is something and something is nothing. So if somebody told you something that... Sorry, I was possessed by the incoherent ghost of Mike Shinoda right there. Excuse me. But hey, at least Mike Shinoda can now add Scientology to his long list of extensive industry contacts and social connections. You know, for a guy who knows nothing and does nothing and feels nothing and has no part in anything, this guy sure has his hand in quite a few different kitchens. That was one of the most disrespectful and frustrating experiences that I've had recently. Which I know sounds like a lot. Well, Jamie, you've been through a lot. You've been cursed out by your dad's ex-bandmate and ex-business partner. You've been called a predator by somebody who hates you and has no ability to account for their emotions or their actions. Jamie, you've been through X, Y, and Z. You're right. But watching Mike Shinoda do what he just did to see that Brad couldn't even make it to the concert, even though he's a guitarist, and to see that as soon as the concert was over, there's new tour schedule, new merch, new videos, new music. You got it. Okay, you're right. It's nothing. It's nothing. Just gaslight all of us. I guess we didn't learn our lesson about mental health awareness. The last thing I'm going to say about this today is that genuinely, I used to think that I got angry about things and wasn't like built to handle, stress, because I'd get so upset about things thinking that they weren't that big of a deal because people in my life were telling me that it wasn't that big of a deal. But the truth of the matter is that I get so upset about things because they're things worth getting upset about. This is worth getting upset about. Like, that was some super villain shit. And I almost was like, maybe the things I said about Mike were a little too harsh. Maybe he's going to be the one to offer a diplomatic solution. Maybe he'll be the one to make this all better. And just, out of pure optimism. Yeah, maybe we would get true acknowledgement of things going on. But no. Mike just showed that everything I said about him in speculation was actually true.
Jaime has been commenting on the entirety of the situation in real time. He has also made it very clear the isolation he has felt at the hands of Linkin Park, their fans, and the band's management.
Yeah, way to call someone crazy. Way to gaslight someone into obscurity. Wow. Multiple times over the last 2 years, I've texted Brad, one of the very few people I would talk to in the band about real life things. The last time that I saw him, the last time I talked to him, was a few years back now, almost 3 years back. And he said, what you've been through, Jamie, is so intense, not even normal people can usually handle it. You're doing so well for somebody who's of your circumstance, suffering from the conditions you suffer from. And I was telling him what I was going through in life at that time. He said, I'm proud of you, keep going. But you might want to invest in a therapist. This is all very serious. I said, okay, thank you. The last 2 years, I've tried to text that guy and ask him how he's doing. I've wished him well. Hey man, just checking on you. I hope you're doing okay. No response.
I wonder why.
I wonder fucking why. That means Mike Shinoda is the front face of the coin. He's the guy who's going to go out there and razz you and try to get all your attention and give you the high five. You saw him with this little fucking, what would you call it? White smirk? When he's on stage acting like a colonialist.
Be the lead man he never got to be in.
Yeah, it's all Mike now.
Chester accidentally outshining him.
Never mind the fact that Linkin Park has refused so far to comment on Emily Armstrong. And a lot of the things surrounding Emily Armstrong. I don't know. It just kind of feels like it's kind of weird. So you're going to have Mike on the front doing all the social interaction. You're going to have Brad on the back end watching how all of you respond, tweaking the machine from the inside so that it's optimal for your engagement. I think we all know that my father struggled with depression and suicidal ideation. Yet there seems to be, again, no conversation about the mental health aspect of this large-scale, long-trend interaction. You replaced Chester Bennington with somebody who is a rape apologist and intimidates victims. And you refuse to acknowledge that he died by suicide, apparently, at the end of his contract with the band while on tour. But I digress. I mean, call me crazy, but I am still waiting for Linkin Park band management to formally recognize that Chester, according to Tony Rakakis, joined a human trafficking task force in 2014 at the same time that they were recording and then touring The Hunting Party. And that he said he was going to get all the guys involved. They can't even say no, they weren't involved. Come on. I mean, I'm still waiting for Linkin Park management to tell everybody why they changed Chester's rideshare from 4:30 a.m. pickup to 9 a.m. pickup the day he died, and what the fuck they were supposed to be doing that day. Was it a photo shoot, or was it an insurance commercial? Oh wait, sorry, it's none of my fucking business. I can go fuck myself.
Jaime has also mentioned that he believes one of the reasons that Linkin Park was connected with Emily Armstrong in the first place is that someone else within the band, aside from her, is also a Scientologist. Take a listen.
I'll end with this. I think that someone in the band is a Scientologist. I think that they know Emily because someone's in the church. I'm going to say that. I'm going to say that based on speculation, what I have to say about the future of the band is that on top of all of this, if anybody in the band starts secretly, subtly, or even just outright supporting the Church of Scientology, you better cut the cord. That's all I'm saying, for your own benefit, because I have a feeling that this thing is politically and religious motivated. And I don't buy it for a second that it's not. I don't buy it. This is just way too slapped together and ridiculous. It's so absurd, it's so stupid that the logic around it is hard to even just look at, much less hold. Period.
In the midst of death threats and various media articles that have written Jaime off as crazy, in my humble opinion, he has remained about as composed as someone in his position would logically have the capacity for. While my intent with Common Revolt is to primarily focus on journalistic pieces, I would like to personally add that I have been impacted by the suicide of a family member, my grandfather. I've spent the last decade crying out for any bits of closure I could possibly get my hands on. I've written countless songs with my band about this loss, and there isn't a day where I don't think about him. I was fortunate to have the space, socially, to process everything. Jaime does not get that luxury, and that's something that I don't think a lot of Linkin Park's fans are taking into consideration. Chester was the voice of a generation. I'm sure that Jaime and the rest of the Bennington family don't get the privilege of going a single minute without someone in their peripheral mentioning Chester or Linkin Park, and this will go on for the rest of their lives. It's worth calling out that nobody other than Jaime could possibly know what it feels like to lose their father in such a tragic and public way. To be shunned and isolated from the very group that will continue on performing songs that showcase the very real mental struggles that Chester was dealing with, which ultimately led to his suicide, has to be the most alienating and isolating experience imaginable. I think that Jaime deserves a little more kindness and grace from not only Linkin Park and their management, but the fan base at large. You don't have to understand to be understanding.
All these people come over to me and they're like, you don't know what your dad would think. You're a fucking 16-year-old little fucking cow, you fucking idiot. What? You're coming over to my posts. You're coming over to my live streams where I'm telling you my feelings and my thoughts on the matter. You're telling me to kill myself. You're telling me that I'm awful. You're telling me that my father doesn't appreciate me. You're saying X, Y, and Z, but like, what are you talking about? You didn't give a fuck when he died? If you did, you would understand what the problem is. You would understand why this is all wrong. You would understand, but you don't. I do, because I'm his kid. And this is all just a major clusterfuck. It's a moment of total disadvantage for all the fans involved. For real. And then all the while you have someone who's literally gaslit you right in front of your face and lied to you over and over and over again, just like their song says. And I think that needs to be a part of the bigger conversation here. I said he grooms, he does. There are a lot of people coming up here in my DMs and my comments saying, oh, you just don't want them to move on. Yeah, sure I do. I have multiple times claimed that Mike Shinoda and the guys in the band are great songwriters. I have multiple times claimed that Emily Armstrong has a great voice, but that she is not of good context or circumstance, and that these things need to be addressed. I have made it very clear where I stand, and I don't appreciate how my words are being twisted because angry people are coming along and saying what they feel instead of what they think because they aren't thinking.
Jaime has recently mentioned that he's reached out to the band themselves and their management directly with the desire to attend their Kia Forum show tomorrow, Wednesday, September 11th, which is the kickoff for their new world tour with their new vocalist, Emily Armstrong, and new drummer, Colin Brittain. While the band and their management have continued to ignore Jaime, it is worth noting that Mike Shinoda recently blocked him.
Uh-oh. Did you guys see that? King Mike Shinoda himself blocked me! Wow! I wonder what Anna has to say about all that. Fucking crazy. Thank you to all of you who are supporting me in my time of struggle. I have yet to receive a single communication from band management or band members about tickets, about the situation. It just hasn't happened. Thank you to all of you who have offered to pay for my transportation to LA. I really appreciate that, but unfortunately, the tickets are all that I can take. I appreciate all of you so much for your kind words and your support, but that's why I sold my house, so I could do things like this. I dedicate my life to the investigation of self and the investigation into my father's passing. And that is what that money was for. So this all counts as that. I'm going to go get closure. I am going to go observe. I'm going to go enjoy myself at the last Linkin Park concert I will ever attend with money that my father gave me. But really only because I kept the house for so long. I flipped that bitch. Turned it from nothing into something. And I'm sure he would love to, in spirit, support me in this wonderful, what's the word that people use? It's not a vision quest, it's a pilgrimage to the Kia Forum. Again, I appreciate all the love and support. I don't appreciate all you crazy people in my DMs saying crazy shit and acting insanely, but it is what it is. It's been over 20 years of the same fucking bullshit. So I can't really stop them. All I can do is acknowledge the people that aren't doing it. Thank you for not doing it. Thank you for being understanding, or at least trying to understand where I'm coming from. I've been talking for almost a year about these very same things. And so it's nice to, I guess, be acknowledged in that way. It sucks that it took a Linkin Park concert for any of this to go down, but I understand. We have to let people interact. We have to let people hold themselves. We have to let them speak. Otherwise, we won't know how they think and feel, but it seems like we do now. So, yeah. To those of you who are going to the show, I hope you enjoy yourself. I know I will. I actually am a fan of the music. I like the music. I have said it before. It's not that Emily's a bad vocalist. It's that she apparently has the past that she has, and she has not, in my opinion, given an appropriate response. It's not that Mike is a bad musician. It's that he does the things he's doing. I like the music. I think they're cool guys in the sense that they make cool music, and that's about it. Because outside of the music, it doesn't seem like they do the people thing very well.
They talk a lot again about being a people person, but from what they've shown to you and expressed to you, that's all we can go by is our personal experience, and it hasn't been a great one.
It's been actually pretty terrible.
Some fans have responded less than favorably about Jaime's quest for some sort of closure.
I've been ridiculed and brutalized by their fan base, and that's just what I have to take. So, okay.
But you have to be respectful the whole time.
Yeah, be respectful, Jaime. Does any of this interaction appear to you to be respectful on their side? Nobody's responded to me. If somebody like you hadn't bought me tickets, I wouldn't have been able to go. They don't want me there, period. And like I said, unless there's a formal statement saying, Jaime, you can't enter the building for this reason, I'm going to the fucking concert. I will be there, and I'll be looking all of you in the eyes, meaning the band members, and genuinely enjoying myself. Because like I said, I know Linkin Park. I know the entire discography from top to bottom. I know all the symbols. I know all the language. I know all the lines. We are good to go. You'll see me bopping like no one's ever bopped before. Believe me. This is the very last Linkin Park concert. It will be the last time I ever watch them live. And it will be the last time that they ever are themselves. If that can even be true now. Given, well, no. No, actually, I've been Chestered. Yep, that's actually a fact. I've definitely been Chestered. And I think there's a lot of people asking questions like that in the comments. Like, damn, it was this rough for you? I wonder how bad it was for Chester. Yeah, I wonder how bad it was for him. Too bad none of it's been documented on Twitter or Instagram or the news, like when Chester was fighting with the fans about the album and then literally lying to them and then going to Mark Morton and recording a totally different vibe because he really did actually feel the way that he was being criticized for claiming he wasn't feeling. Yeah, we're all going through the same thing. In the last 6 months, I have been publicly brutalized by Sean Dowdell of Grey Days, Samantha Bennington, Chester's first wife, and my brother Draven, by my mother Elka, who apparently is on Twitter going, oh, I got new followers. I guess someone's brewing again. Thanks a lot, Mom. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for all the support and the love. Thank you for understanding and trying. But I digress. I have attempted to stomach this Linkin Park situation. I've been stalked, blocked, and now here we are. It's not just one thing. This ain't just one moment. This is a continuum of bad shit. And I'll be the only one to acknowledge it if I'm the only one. And when I say I was attacked by Samantha, by the way, I don't mean just attacked. I mean that my paternity was stripped from me. I mean that she literally went out and said that we all need to unify on a front for Chester, but goes out of her way to say that I'm adopted and I don't count it as his family. Like, I'm the only kid out here saying any of this. Sure, the adults have done it, but nobody's done it like me. I mean, where is Sam? Where are these people? There are so many people I could think of right now. I'm like, oh, why is nobody saying anything about this? Oh, why aren't people being more vocal? Why is Jaime the only one being picked up by news outlets? That's so interesting.
Everyone tells you how you're trying to profit off of Chester, but we literally don't profit at all.
We don't profit at all.
Every other person does profit and gets to go to certain events because of their association with Chester.
We have nothing. But each other. That's it. And the house that I flipped. Whoa. Anyways, it's been really tough. These last 6 months have been brutal. There are so many things that haven't been reported on, and I'm glad that these things now are being acknowledged. But, you know, as somebody said in my DMs, oh, you're famous now. Okay. I don't want to be famous. I want to be taken seriously.
I don't think famous is the word.
Famous is not the word. Somebody reported on me one time. I've been here screaming into the void for literally years longer than that.
And
I've been here for over 3 years.
not even the last month I was on here being like, it's so fucking hard
Brutal.
to be where we're at because we continuously are not taking seriously on the serious topic.
Not about anything
and then
ever.
Everyone focuses on, oh, you look like Chester. Like, and then that's literally happening right now with the online media being like, Jaime doesn't approve of Emily. It's like, there's so much other things that are so much more important than fucking Emily. But anyways.
I agree. So, yeah, we'll be seeing you guys.
Ahead of Linkin Park's performance tomorrow at the Kia Forum, Jaime Bennington has received messages threatening his safety should he attend the concert.
I wasn't going to be back before the show, but something serious is going on and I need to say it. I need to document it for my safety. So remember that guy I put on my story? He said he's going to come find me at the Linkin Park show and give me a little love on Mike's behalf. And I said, no, you're not. Well, somebody I know decided to stand up for me, which I really appreciate. And this guy let loose some more information that could be true or could be false. He claims that he has dropped $4,000 so that he and his buddies can come to the show and hunt me down and beat the living shit out of me. He says that he's doing this on behalf of Emily and friends. So I'll be posting those receipts.
At the time of publishing this video, September 10th, 2024, Linkin Park have yet to comment further regarding any of the controversies depicted in this video. As it currently stands, the band is gearing up to perform tomorrow at the Kia Forum in Inglewood, California. Make sure to stay tuned to Common Revolt for more videos regarding Linkin Park as the band moves forward and releases their new album in November. Thanks for watching.